Hey AfterBuzzers, welcome back to another episode of Botched. It is season 4, episode 5, Twin Terrors. We've got a uniboob, hanging skin, a nose curvier than the Mississippi River, and definitely not least, we've got the potato boobs. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
All right, guys, we are living in a material world, and we are talking Botched, Season 4, Episode 5. And speaking of a material world, we are talking about the Bruna twins first. Bruna twins, 1.5 million followers. They say we're hot and we know it. They believe that their curves are their power, and they love plastic surgery. I mean, who doesn't, right? We're living in a material world after all. So we have two different twins. One of them has an issue with a uniboob, and the other one has excess skin hanging from her arm. She said that she recently lost 35 pounds, and she's already had an arm tuck, but is looking for another one. And we have both doctors who actually mentioned that they also have twins, which is super interesting. Now, girls, what are your thoughts on the twins?
I didn't know that Dr. Nassif had twins.
Twin boys, I think.
Yeah.
I didn't know they both had twins.
Well, I knew Dr. Dubrow does because I watch Real House of OC. These girls kind of remind me of like 2007, how like the girls were like so hot, black hair, tattoos. Like, I feel like these girls deserve to be on the cover of Lowrider magazine. That's what they remind me of. But you know what? I like where they're coming from. I like how they enjoy plastic surgery, which is, you know, if that's what they like, that's what they like. And I didn't find anything wrong with her chest. It looked fine to me.
Well, I believe it was only when she posed in a certain way. Because if you remember in the scene where they're at the pool, she kind of had to like push forward in order to get the uniboob.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, obviously to her, it wasn't even worth having the surgery to get a half reduction. So what Dr. Dubrow told her is in order for her to get a corrective surgery, she would need to cut her breast or shrink it by half, which she was definitely not okay with.
Not having it.
She said, I'm not going to get booked for calendars. So why would I do that?
It was her moneymaker.
Yeah, that's how she makes her living. So, I mean, that's a serious reason why she didn't want to do it.
My favorite part about the twins is they had such minimal things that are actually wrong with them.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not talking about mentally or anything, not saying there's anything wrong with them mentally, but I'm talking about physically. Right. They were in great shape. They've done, I believe they said they had to gain 6 pounds to actually gain fat to then suck out and do a fat transfer into their rear end, which I believe they said was about 300 cc's, which is, according to Dr. Dubrow, the largest fat transfer he's ever seen in a girl's rear end. And so to me, the fact that they kind of were willing to even have an incision cut across their bottom of their arm just for a 10% lift in skin is insane.
Right. I find it funny how he's like, I've never seen a butt that big. Have you seen Nicki Minaj? like you know, those girls' butts looked kind of like normal to me. I thought the advice that he gave them was don't do it. Like he always gives advice to his other patients. And something that we all learned today that we probably haven't learned before is that the scar tissue, they call it like the dog tag.
Yeah.
That was that was something I've never ever heard of.
So what I believe he said was the dog tag is kind of like a buildup of like scar tissue on the end. And I'm surprised that even more so than getting rid of the scar tissue, they were concerned about the little bit of like the lift in their arm. Because if it was me, I would be more concerned with the scarring, because she had the scarring like underneath her armpit, and you can even see it kind of from like the back of her shirt. And then, you know, she had that little pudge, which he called the dog scarring. But 1.5 million followers.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of followers.
So I think they take their bodies really seriously, especially with lifting and stuff. I mean, I follow people on Instagram, like people that do like or work out. They're really into working out, and I feel like people take it really seriously. So like that little inch of fat on their arm is like a big deal. Right. So I understand where they're coming from hearing about a lot of people that are really into weight training and stuff.
Now, what were you guys' thoughts? One of the twins had mentioned that people think having a social media or maintaining the way you look is so easy, but they're saying it's not. It's a full-time job. It's like an investment of your time and energy and money.
Right. I agree with them, because if that's your job, then that and that's where your money is coming from, because social media is big right now. You can, have so many followers, and you could as well as advertise through social media, and that's your living. So for them to say like it's not an easy job, I don't blame them. I mean,
Yeah.
I would love to know how to do that.
So you're pretty much like basing it, most of it on your looks. Like you're working out, you're getting the best outfits, makeup, everything, and you have to take like probably 100 selfies to get that one. You're like, I'm gonna post this one.
It's definitely a full-time job. My Instagram is nowhere near as big as that, but just in the fact that you have to constantly be putting up content that people like, content that inspires people, and then it's not just like content. Your page has to look a certain way. You have to have one outside picture, one picture of flowers, one picture of like scenic, one picture of your outfit, then it's like your face. So there's a lot of thought and work that goes behind it. And of course, assuming that their followers are real, which we are assuming that it is. I remember there was one Instagram account that got hacked. It was one of the girls from a TV show. I'm probably not going to say anything about the specifics on that, but I remember her account got hacked, and the person that had hacked it had screenshotted all of her inbox messages on how much she was charging different companies to post.
Oh my gosh.
And she was legitimately getting, and she only had 1 million followers back then.
But still.
Now she has a lot more. She was getting like $4,000 to like $6,000 a post.
Wow.
But she wasn't allowed to, I guess, with like some of the higher posts, she wasn't allowed to post anything else within like a 3 to like 4 day frame. But that's insane.
Yeah.
$6,000 for a post. But then you think about it, she has a live following of millions of people. It's like a
business.
Commercial. Yeah, it's
You're
a business.
You're a business. So it's like the new TV, I believe. Like it's pretty much getting where I just feel like there's so much pressure though with that, like to be perfect, look perfect all the time.
Especially with like that new tea that's happening, that's popping, that everybody
WT.
likes. Like everyone's promoting it. So they say if you promote this, you get, I'm exaggerating, $600. So
It's not an exaggeration.
oh, it is.
It's not. No.
Wow,
okay,
I can't believe people are making
I
that
don't
much money
know,
off
but
Instagram and social
I know
That's
girls
crazy.
that either do that or similar ones, and they get paid more than that. I mean, they do have a insanely large following in the hundreds, thousands to millions, but it's, I mean, think about it. You're reaching out to so many people, especially if your following is predominantly female. My only thing is their following is probably predominantly male.
Males.
If, they're in the bikinis and
calendars.
Yeah.
And listen,
all
if you've got it, work it. And if you want to take care of yourself and maintain yourself, more power to you. So more power to the curvy twins. Now, real quick, before we move on to Liberty, do you girls think you would have gone through with the half reduction to get rid of the uniboob? Or do you think that she made the right decision to keep them large?
Well, like Dr. Dubrow said, that they're really soft, and to me they looked fine. I didn't see no problem of it. I mean, I understand that she wanted more cleavage, but I mean, if I was in her position, I would agree with the doctors. I wouldn't do it because I don't want to lose my business. I don't want to lose what I'm doing.
Yeah, and after having numerous surgeries, I wouldn't go on with another one.
Yeah.
I think it's just too risky.
Yeah.
And it might cause more of a deformity later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. I think I would get a reduction, actually.
Yeah.
Really?
I think I would get a reduction and give my body the chance to kind of, heal and get rid of the breast tissue or the scarring tissue and things like that. But then again, I don't think I would ever get a boob job because I am terrified to think of what the negative results could be. Nothing wrong with girls out there that do it, but obviously we've seen in Botched.
Yeah.
There's so many cases, and then some people get really bad scarring from it too, which would probably freak me out. So at least for right now, I'm sticking to no breast surgery. So we are going to move on to Liberty. I live for Liberty. She was such an incredible, inspirational young girl. She got her nose job originally 11 years ago because, as she said, her nose is curved like the Mississippi River. She said that she has a cleft in her lip, and which caused a cleft in her nose, so her nose was starting to slant left. And she's just such a sweet, genuine girl. And she said her mom was diagnosed with MS, so she ended up living with her mother and taking care of her. And so now she's turning dirty 30 and decided that it's time to take care of herself, which I'm all about that. And I love the fact that she's such a good person and has dedicated her time to her mom. So we started with she had her first rhinoplasty 11 years ago, and then she had her first cleft surgery on her lip when she was 2 months, and then one again when she was 7. And then what ended up happening is the doctor ended up taking some skin from her scalp and using it to add volume to her lip. I mean, what's your guys' thoughts? Like, there's just so much going on there.
Yeah, she was seemed like just a genuine person. She was so inspiring too. Just these stories this episode, I was like, they were so inspirational. And she just seemed like, you know, she was insecure about this, and it was a genuine, like a deformity. So I think I just loved seeing after how her revealing was amazing, and just seeing her happy and just ready to take on her 30s.
Right. I really, really liked her a lot. I thought she was fun. She reminded me of a girl next door. It's a little country girl. She just has something that she was pretty much born with, and I could relate to that with that situation. I'm glad that she was able to get it fixed, and she looks great. She looks great.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, the doctor did an incredible job. He was working with a deviated septum. She had a cleft. She had slanting. He ended up, like I said, he took the tissue from her scalp, added it to her lip to kind of give her the fullness. And I mean, he said 85%. To me, it looked a lot better than 85% on her lip, because she kind of didn't have that gap anymore. I mean, she still has that scar, but that's from their previous surgery that she had. And her nose looked incredible. And that's with the fact that she's still going to have 2 years of swelling, like you said, on the tip. So can you imagine, like, when all that swelling goes on, like, she's gonna look great.
Yeah, and I feel like she just didn't do this for looks, because she also she had trouble breathing. So I feel like she had a real reason to get the surgery done, like legit reason.
I'm glad she was on the show, because it brightened made me and the audience think that, okay, this show is helping people who've gone through horrible situations, and as well as being born with something.
It's funny that you said that. So one of my favorite parts of the episode, you know, tying into what everything we've been saying about this episode being inspirational, is when she had that big reveal and her friends, she walked in and her friend was like, you know, normally you walk into a room, your head's always down, but she noticed that Liberty's head was held high. And, you know, it's just a sign of being confident and loving yourself. And I thought it was absolutely beautiful. And I just want to know what your girls' thoughts were on that, like on confidence and how much it can change the way you feel.
Yeah, and what you accomplish in life and how you interact with people, even your relationships. I feel like that will determine some of those things.
I think she's is inspirational when it comes to this episode. It really shows how a person identifies themselves as what they went through in their past and how they are now. So she glow up.
So speaking of inspiration, Liberty definitely gave me life, but Meghan, you are incredible. You are the epitome of inspiration. Her story just touched me on so many different levels. It actually made me start reevaluating my life and feeling so blessed. And there's times that we're down on ourselves and we don't think we can do it. And this girl has been through it all. She is a partial paraplegic, and she wants to be the #1 disabled fitness model. So with all of that going on and everything she's overcome, she was originally paralyzed, she said, from her breast down, and it's now just from her ankles down. She went from 213 pounds to 124 pounds just based off of learning how to eat and how to be in fitness and to build muscle. And she went from, like, I believe a 40 GG, which sounds insane. And so she had 9 breast surgeries, an excessive amount of scar tissuing, and then the doctors obviously gave her 2 options. They said, option 1, remove the breast implant, we'll remove the scar tissue, and give you a lift. That way there's no chance of any other issues with her breasts or any kind of like allergic reactions or anything. Option 2 was remove the scar tissue, adjust the implants, move them down, but then there was a 35% chance of something happening or having some kind of a reaction. What would you guys have done? 35%. That's a third, over a third.
Right. I would do number 2. I would do what she did.
Yeah, I probably would do the same thing. I loved her. She was such a fighter. She was like, and then I loved when she asked the doctors, you guys like challenge, right? Like, you guys want a challenge. Yeah. She was awesome. Just her personality and just you could tell she's like really believes in herself and wants to do this to help other people believe in themselves because of all that she's gone through and just be an inspiration to other people.
Definitely.
She's definitely a fighter.
Bless her heart, bless her soul. Like, pretty much she conquered the world when it comes with her story. Yeah. She was literally in this car accident and she Doctor said no. She said, okay, I'm going to prove you wrong. And she did it. And for someone that's been in that situation, gave me inspiration on doing something that I could even do. Like, she's going out working out and she was paralyzed. I have a life-threatening condition and I should be doing what she's doing because, damn, she's inspirational.
Well, even Dr. Dubrow said she had less than a 1% chance of actually walking again, and everyone had told her, you will never walk again.
Yeah.
And here she is, looking incredible. Body looks amazing. She's doing it the healthy way. She's not taking any crazy diets or has an eating disorder. She's working out, feeling amazing. Her makeup's on point. Her hair's on point. But I don't know. If it was me and I had the option, 35% is pretty high. But then again, she's defied all the odds. So to her, she's like, I was given a 1% chance and I'm walking and I'm going to be a fitness model. So 35%, I mean.
She's like, bring it on.
Right.
Like, she loves, you can tell she just loves challenges. And I mean, that's such an inspiration to everyone.
And I think that probably motivated her when the doctor said, you can't do this, you can't do that, or this is going to happen to you. She goes, well, if it's happened, she's probably researched, like, if it's happened to other people who's dealt with this situation, whose doctors keep saying, she goes, well, I have that chance too, and I got that shot, and whatever, hey, I want to see what those photos look like, because she was posing. I hope, I want to see how good the shots went.
So my favorite part about the reveal at the end was that she said, well, sorry, this was before the reveal when she had the second consultation after the surgery. She said, this is the first time I cried for something good.
Yeah.
And that honestly really touched my heart. When has there ever been a time that you guys have cried for something good?
Long story short, when I had my last open heart surgery, really, I don't want to cry. It just like really opened me that like I have this condition, and the same doctor who helped Jimmy Kimmel's son is this doctor that did my surgery.
Wow.
I was pretty much his guinea pig when I was born, and seeing that opening my eyes, realizing that miracles can happen, and with her situation, I could feel her pain.
I know this is so weird, and it's like pun intended, but I feel like this experience opened your heart literally.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like, I can see even when you're speaking, like, there's just a different energy about you, which I kind of haven't seen since I've known her, since we've been doing this after show.
Yeah.
And I mean, Jimmy Kimmel, on his episode when he's talking about what happened with his son,
Yeah.
he was in tears. I've never, like, I'm literally getting children. I've never seen that side to Jimmy.
Right.
I mean, who's the doctor? We want to hear his name, because obviously he's incredible.
Dr. Starnes at Chalk and Children's Hospital of Orange County and Children's Hospital in LA. Cedar Sinai, that's where I was born. Hey.
That's beautiful.
But I'm not an emotional person, so I'm surprised I'm crying.
I'm saying I've never seen this side to her. I mean, honestly, I love it. It's opened you up a little
Right,
bit.
yeah. So this episode is an emotional episode.
It's so inspiring. Just in general, just like these people are overcoming life challenges, and this is real life stuff.
Right.
It's not just like, oh, I want to help my looks. It's like, no, I need to. I want to change my life, and
And that's something that I liked about this episode. It's like, it's not about, hey, I did so many surgeries, can you fix me? It was more like, hey, I was born with this situation. Hey, this happened to me. I need to get fixed. That's why this episode was really amazing and inspirational overall.
Stacey, have you had an experience where you cried tears of joy?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, probably like finishing school, like from college, grad school and stuff.
Oh, maybe.
I'm like on my own, because I was like, that was a struggle and no one else did it but myself. So just over. And other things, I guess. I don't know. I can't think of anything right now. What about you, Debbie?
For me, honestly, I think my niece and my nephew are some of the biggest accomplishments in my life. Obviously, I've graduated from college and I've had other accomplishments, but for sure, when I see such beauty and such innocence, it just sometimes it makes me cry. Like, my niece will come up to me and she'll know that I'm sad, and she'll just grab my face and she's like, "Oh, I love you. You look sad." So we're getting super emo today. I don't know what's going on. But I do love that they were so inspirational this week.
Yes.
We've had a lot of the Bruna twins, and like, we're curvy and we love it. So it was a good little change to have Liberty and Meghan.
Yeah.
And we did not introduce ourselves in the beginning.
No.
We did not do that last week either. So we're going to make sure we take the time to tell you guys where you can follow us on social media. But before we do that, we are looking forward to next week, which is an unnecessary and inappropriate surgery, followed by a breast disaster and implants in the head.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
I'm
curious.
What do you guys think could be the cause of the implants in
I
the head.
think he probably had an accident when he was younger, like a car accident or something. I don't want to seem like I'm being negative, but it kind of looked like something happened to him.
I don't know at all. I don't know what I mean. He had implants in there from.
It looked like he had.
He
a
was
Or was
just-
that a deformity?
He was just saying what he thought it looked
okay.
like, what he's saying it looks like. Like, she doesn't really have potato breasts.
Okay.
But she said she has potato breasts. So
That's his face.
I remember I saw kind of like an incision right here. So maybe
Okay.
it could have been like a brain tumor removal and then he had swelling. But
That's
I
true.
am very interested because you've seen a lot of butts
Yeah.
and a lot of boobs and a lot of implants and a lot of removals and lifts. So I'm very excited.
You haven't seen any heads.
The surgeries are getting more intense, I noticed, as the episodes are going on, like, further down the season. They're getting, like, more real, like, intense surgeries, challenging surgeries.
Well, I'm super excited and I cannot wait for next week's episode.
Yes.
And before we close off, I want to go ahead and have my co-hosts introduce themselves for the closing and then let you know where you can find them on social media.
Hi, guys. I'm Stacey Olivias, and you can find me on social media at Stacey Olivias.
And my name is Anissa Barr. You can find me at Anissa Barr with 3 R's at the end.
And I'm Lina Noory. This is the Botched After Show, Season 4, Episode 5. Tune in next week for Season 4, not Season 5. What am I talking about? But anyways, you can find me on social media at Lina Noory _ on Twitter and at Lina Noory on Instagram. And next week, I will get the season right and the episode right just for you. Stay tuned.
Bye, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.